I do know that the medicine is the medicine for everyone. And so, as you say, we're in Octave ish. So Octave is three, and the symbolism of three is found everywhere. In the Mayan, there's a three. In the Mayan, there's a three levels of existence of the worlds: there's underworld, the middle world, and the upper world. And in the Andeans, there's a Anapacha, and then there's like the upper world and the middle world. So there's always three worlds, and it's it's found throughout everywhere, and it symbolizes creativity, sociability, momentum. It symbolizes communication. I think a lot of the times in our own lives we think, oh, this is simple, three steps, so it's like, oh, this is easy to do. Like if you break this out in three steps, I can do. And more than anything, it's an outward expression. So it's the first number where it's like it's Hoon, and then it's Geb, and then Oksib, right? So Hoon and Geb are like one. Oh, duality in one. And finding Oksib is outward. It's like, oh, it's the first step outside of yourself. So if you think about it, it's like if the first two numbers are zero, one, and two, like oh, it's all internal, eternal, one and two. And then it's like, oh, three is like the first time, the first number that you think outside of yourself, where it's communicating outward community. It's a three, So in the day of Ish is the Jaguar, the sacred, the Jaguar. And Ish is magical, mystical, the divine feminine, the earth outside of us, the earth found not only in the duality of masculine and feminine, but the earth that's beneath our feet. And today, this morning, I drank some cacao with my sister, and I was like, this is such a wonderful way to honor our aunt that passed away, our second mother. It's a day of divine feminine, three Oksib Ish, and we're in nature, we're in our backyard, we're having our feet on the ground and touching the grass, and we're able to see the femininity outside of ourselves. And not only that, it's the simple, like one, two, three, like the simple things outside of us, that's nature, you know, and to be able to embrace those things all around us and be able to say, oh, this is wonderful. It's peaceful here. And um there's with the jaguar, the Andean belief, we believe that the jaguar is the the apex predator of the Amazon. There's no one above it. And sometimes the jaguar gets scared, and you can YouTube this. You can look for a scared jaguar. And they just stay up in trees. They stay and they don't want to get down. And something has to happen in their body internally where they shake it off. And you can see it, they wiggle their nose and they wiggle and it goes down their spine and they wiggle their tail to help them remember that there's nothing to be feared out there. You are the top of the food chain in this jungle. So you shouldn't fear anything out there. And very much with us, like all of us has ish in us, no matter what we say. We have a jaguar, and we all fear things. And in this time where it's like constant turmoil, we have things going in the Middle East with Gaza. We have children starving. We have the Amazon is burning. We have women being, treated, taking away their body autonomy, treating less than queer spaces, queer people are being taken away. People of color are being murdered by people who should be protecting us. We have being people being kidnapped off the streets. There's a lot of things to fear. And I feel like we hear the news and we can't avoid it. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, and they come up, and sometimes we're like, skip, I don't want to hear it. Or sometimes we're just like consumed it, and we go about our day thinking that it doesn't take a toll on us, but subconsciously it's there. Subconsciously it's piling up. And sometimes it just takes the slightest thing to set us off, and we don't know I don't know why I went off on such a small little thing. And it's because the uncertainty was piling up more and more and more subconsciously, that we weren't able to, you know, work, process those things, those fears that we have. and be able to embrace the medicine that comes with the Jaguar to letting those things go. So today is to recognize the fears that we have, but also recognize that those fears come with gifts, and to be able to put away those fears. And in this existence, this temporal quote unquote mortal existence, we have two fears. And one fear is the fear of death. And this can be death and embodiment of like losing someone, losing your own life, or losing a friend. And it can be death of a chapter of your life. Death, oh, I was single for a long time. I don't want to get in a relationship because that's saying death to this. Or saying death to a relationship, saying death to a job, a career. Everybody, there's so many different deaths we experience, and we're all scared of this death. And I even like to call it change. People are scared of change. And the second thing, I think it goes it's very much like the first one, but people are fear of being hurt by love. And I like to distinguish these because one is like, oh, this is a change, but being hurt by love, it's like you don't want to love something or someone because you're gonna you fear that they're not going to love you back or love you the way you want to be loved, or they're not going to reciprocate, or it's not going to reciprocate that love. Why do I pour into this plant? Why do I give this
Mhm.
plant my love, my attention, my water if it's not going to give me anything? Why do I pour into this person if I don't think they're going to love me the way I want to be loved? And so these are the two loves that these are the two things we fear the most in life: death and being hurt by love. And there are many other things but it's kind of like a branch. It branches out like, oh, this goes into here. And and we have to understand that the Jaguar teaches us to be fearless, to reset, like, oh, connect to the earth and reset our body and our mind and be able to say, oh, I have I really have nothing to fear. I am the Jaguar. And the way that she does this is very simple, is that she connects deeply to the earth. She's one with the mother, and she realizes that the mother earth gives her everything she needs and everything she wants. That's why in the mind, like, oh, today's a day of nature. It's Ish, the magic in the Amazon. It's because Ish, the Jaguar, knows everything she provides the mother she needs. Everything she needs, the mother gives her. And when we fear, we forget. We forget that Mother Earth gives us everything. Everything we want.
Mhm.
Everything. Whether it's love, attention, embracement, food, water, air, she gives us everything. I'm like, what do we have to fear for?
Mhm.
I drive here from yesterday from visiting one of my friends, and this I'm not sure if everybody heard of Edgar Tolle. Um, there was
Yeah.
he was sharing fear, like the concept of fear, and he was saying fear is of the future, like being worried about the future, and because the future does not exist, only the
Mhm.
present, you're really not fearing, and there's nothing to fear.
Yeah.
You're fearing things that don't exist, and so that's the power we're giving this fear power by giving it our presence. And so when you reset, you come to center, you're like, oh, I need to give the present more power. The fear goes away. And that's what the Jaguar is going to teach us today, to realize that everything we want, everything we need comes from the Great Mother. We have nothing to fear. To be mindful, I feel like there's a difference between fear and imminent danger, which is like you don't want to be like in the
Yeah.
middle of an earthquake or like a bomb. There's bombing, you're like, oh, I have nothing to fear. But there's imminent physical danger, and then there's fear. And 99.9999% of the things we fear is nothing.
Yeah.
There's no imminent. If you were to choose, like, I'm going through this thing, is it a fear or imminent danger? Pick. Oh, it's a fear. Then let's move forward with this process, and like, how do you connect to the earth to realize that there's nothing to fear? But if it's imminent danger, then girl, you need to get out. Let's run. Let's do
You should have
something. Get out
already
of the
been
way.
out there, not thinking.
But that's what it is today. Today is a full moon on 3 Ish. remember it's Oksib Ish outside of ourselves, Mother Nature, Earth, femininity. Understand that she gives you everything you ever wanted. And if you were to fear things, I would have you imagine that you are a baby in the womb of the mother and the womb of the earth, and she's providing everything for you. There's nothing to fear. There's no one more powerful than her, and in her is safety. And so
Mm.
this Jaguar medicine teaches us that we have no enemies. We are the light, the the things that we seek outside of ourselves, the things that we think they're going to bring us safety or comfort or validation. All those things, oh, I need this. Oh, I need his attention, her attention, my mom's approval, my dad's society's
Mm.
approval. I need to live, or also
Mm.
if I don't do that, they're gonna hate me, they're gonna fear me. All those fears are quiet because the mother proves you for who you are. You are the right person you need to be. You're in the right space, you're in the right path. And so overcome all those fears, not by yourself, but with her and through her, and be able to embrace the Jaguar in you and in her. Understand that uh, this is will be my last point before I pass it over to Roy, is that the Jaguar comes into your life. We call it Otorongo. When Otorongo comes, and if you were to picture a part of your time of life where it's like it's been torn to shreds, like everything's falling apart, it's the Jaguar carrying things that you don't need, and you need to start like, hey, understand where's your priorities. And so you feel things falling apart. You you either you could worry and have anxiety and panic, or you stand back and you laugh with the Jaguar. You say, what I I'm reconnecting with the earth. What are my priorities? And now that you tilled this soil for me, Jaguar, what are the seeds I need to plant? Because with every tilling of the ground, there's new seeds to plant. And you can either plant seeds of fear that it's gonna happen again. So does not plant anything. Does not plant anything at all. It's or plant fear, or you plant the seeds that you want. And seeds that, oh, since I have space and time now that everything's falling apart, what are the seeds I can plant that I want to grow later and nurture and invest in? And not fear that if I pour love into this seed, that's all going to be torn apart. But just love because I am love, and watch things grow. Because I have times like this week, I feel like everything was falling apart, but the more I tried my best to like fix it with different things, trying to fix things, the more I realized it's still empty inside. And it wasn't until like I realized I just need to reconnect and like center myself and realize, oh, the things I'm trying to fix are just temporal. I really needed just to reconnect with her, and and feel like there's nothing to fear. Like all the things that happen for a reason, and it's time to plant seeds. But that's so it's a perfect time to reconnect, to see see things that are falling apart, things that you don't need no more. The full moon means it's full. What don't I need? What can I throw away? My cup is full. There's nothing I can so throw away, throw away, throw away, throw away. I'm not scared if I let these go, they're gonna land where they land. But the moon is full. I'm full right now. And as the moon wanes, you go like they call it third quarter moon, or like it's half moon, but on the waning side, you can look back and think, oh, I said I will throw away doing this. Have I done that? Yes, okay, I can move forward. If I haven't, like, why am I not throwing this away? Do I need it? Or is it something that I don't need and I'm attached to, you know? So the moon is it's back in the day, the indigenous women, oh, this is the coolest part. It was a cool crew. I call it a cool clique because the women of even Oshone, the people at Maya Aztecs, they would kick all the men out of the village. They're like, get out. And it's just the girls around the fire. The girls gays and days, hopefully, but there was just like sit next to the fire and just let things go, let it all out. This is what I'm going through, this is what I'm facing. These are my children, this is my husband. What about the food? And they would just talk and be able to shed what they need to shed. And then the men, of course, we're hoping that the men will get out and talk about how to be better men, but the women would take control of the fire in the full moon and be able to express what they need and let go of things and let go. So it's has a lot of great feminine power this full moon.